The only tools I will need is this drill.
So Jose and I failed to show up to work for the first day of sapping.
Well, I tell you what, I'm surely not going to fire you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Say the question is how long do you want to smell like garlic?
I know, whether or not we want the house smelling like garlic.
It is the time.
It's that time of year when chick season. And eggs into the incubator. Yeah. Coming up is one of our biggest soil blocking days of the year. We have to do our onion trays, and this year we do our onions in soil blocks. Snow is killing my eyes.
Yeah.
It's very bright out here. We got two things going on. You either get snow or you get mud. And I actually prefer the snow at this point. It's so much cleaner.
Yeah.
But the driveway is a mud hole. The road is literally trying to drive is miserable. Hi, but did you get a new ball? Did you get a new ball?
Get it. Yeah, it's a beautiful day today.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gonna be 50?
Close to 50, I
yeah.
think. And then the next 2 days are 50.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be cloudy and maybe rainy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do everything we need to do outside today. So you've got a project.
Yeah.
This is our NRCS high tunnel grant tunnel that we got. So we're under contract to have it done before the season starts this year. So we have got to, and the other problem is we got to get it done as early as possible because we won't have time to work on it once we really get cranking. So we can't do a lot of stuff because we're still maybe a foot and a half of snow at the base.
Yeah.
But these all need to be screwed in. So that's what you're going to do today?
Yeah, that's my little
project. Lot of drilling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you excited to be working outside?
Not too much, but...
No? No. What would you rather be doing? Sitting on the beach in Hawaii?
In Hawaii, yeah.
Okay. All right. We can do that.
No.
We just would have to get jobs.
No, it's excited to work outside.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. So Betsy and I already this morning have done, and I'm covered in dirt. We just seeded a few more trays, moved them into the germination room, which right now our germination room has 0 space. We have 1 tray sitting on the floor because we don't have enough shelf space.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Nope.
Time to turn the heat on in the greenhouse.
Oh.
We try to wait as long as possible. We try to wait till the nights are staying right around 22 to 25 or higher because we don't want to spend too much money heating that greenhouse. So we're there. Some nights will still drop below that, but we can just run the heater if we need to.
Yeah.
So next week is one of our biggest planting weeks of the year because we do our onions. And onions, we do them in soil blocks, which is not what a lot of people do, but it's so much easier when planting.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah. And so we soil block them. It takes a lot of time up front, but is really easy on the tail end to get them in the ground.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen on Monday. Today we moved all the pallets in the greenhouse because we have a pallet system that keeps, and I'll have to take you in there and show you, that we set our trays on, and then we have raised beds in there that we also plant in. So next week we'll be planting in the raised beds that we just took the pallets off of, and then we're going to move a lot of seed trays out there because the onions will need to be in the germination room for a week or 2 while they germinate. So we'll pull everything out of the germination room and refill it next week. So that's swapping out. I think we can fit 60 some trays in there. So
wow.
Probably even more than that. I think 72, I think is what fits on the shelves.
Wow.
So that's a lot of trays.
Yeah.
So we'll be swapping out all of those trays next week and doing that. But we're cleaning the garage today. Well, we're cleaning the wash pack area because it really needs to be cleaned. We're cleaning out all the refrigerators and freezers that we shut off last year at the end of the season. I mean, they're clean, but they need to be sanitized and get ready for season. They're all shut off right now. We're going to organize one of the freezers to get one of the freezers turned off today so we can get that defrosted and cleaned out. We try to, everything gets, at least once, gets shut down and fully cleaned out every year. Some things we do twice a year to make sure there's nothing left in it, we won't find something from 4 years ago at the bottom of a freezer. Man, that snow is bright.
Yeah.
It's So yeah, that's the project. And then what are we doing tonight?
Oh, we're going to Harry's.
Yep, tonight will be the first night we're helping to pull sap, so we'll bring the camera with us and
Yeah.
show that. We love sapping season.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. We hang out with a good crowd of people. All right,
All right.
So that's the projects for today.
All right.
I can't see a thing. I'm going to be snow blind. I should have worn my glasses.
All
All right, to work.
The only tools I will need is this drill. What we're doing now is I have to put 3 screws in each post. So, but this one in the front just need 2 screws, and the next one is 3 screws. So that's gonna be my job for today. I will try to finish today, but I don't think so it's gonna be happen because there's still it's a little hard to to drill. But we'll see what happens right now. All right, just one more here. Perfect, another one. Feel like a spring, but it's not quite yet ready, but it's coming. All right. One side is done. That was quick. I thought it will be more difficult because if I remember well, I was struggling last time try to screw this screws here, but this time I don't know, maybe because I'm fresh and ready for a sprint, ready to work, but it was smooth and easy. So now I will work on the other side. Probably it will take me another 20 minutes. That's good. But I think first lunch is almost ready. Lunch is over, so now it's time to work, and it's time to finish this side. Mission complete. So yeah, I think it was easy. Yeah, I thought it would be more hard, but I don't know, but it was good and smoothie. That's good. All right, it's about time to go with Harry to collect sap, and maybe tomorrow I will continue working in another project here. But I don't know yet. Maybe I will work on another thing. But for now, we are good.
All right, Uncle. So Jose and I failed to show up to work for the first day of sapping.
Well, I tell you what, I'm surely not going to fire you.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. So we're here. This is the second day now we're pulling sap.
Yep.
But it looks like you already boiled that first 145 gallons.
Yeah, we got over 3 gallons of syrup.
Wow.
It's all ready to be bottled up.
Okay.
We'll be doing that tomorrow.
All right. Who's coming to help you with that one?
You want it?
I don't know. We'll
You
see.
guys are busy. We'll get
We're
somebody.
pretty busy tomorrow. Yeah. All right. So tonight, what's your guess on how much sap we're going to pull?
I haven't really been back there much. I'm gonna guess 175 maybe.
Okay, I guess
Close.
220.
You're probably
So
closer.
the bags are pretty full on the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's exciting.
Oh, I'm already. It's that first stuff's nice and light and really good. You know,
Yeah.
high. The sugar in the sap is around 2.3, and it's probably even higher now. That's what we started at.
Yeah. Oh,
You gotta give your guess.
Oh.
he's 180, he says.
No.
Karen has
Taken.
180.
Okay, I will do 160.
Don't be pouring it on the ground either.
Whatever it takes.
0.
So he's the winner. All right. So we guess every night how much we pull in. So
Yep.
I'm gonna try to win. The big winner gets a lottery ticket.
Oh yeah, and you could win.
Oh, we could get real wealthy.
Win a 30-pack.
We could buy beer.
Yeah, there you go. You
All
could buy
right.
syrup.
Yeah. No. Delicious.
I'm already. It's my favorite time of year.
I
You know that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for my little buddy's been around all day.
Oh
seeing
yeah,
me.
to feed them. We need to get that on camera.
We'll get that after.
All right.
They've been here steady.
Nice. It's fun feeding the birds.
Yeah, I got a couple that just chirp.
They're cute.
Yeah.
All right, the danger of coming out here without snowshoes on. I got my foot almost all the way down to the top of the boot. And again.
If you want to carry some of them buckets back, because there's a bunch of buckets down there I'm going to have to pick up.
Okay.
So here, take the middle. Yeah.
All right, look who I got with me today. Betsy and I are in the kitchen. What are we working on, Bets?
We are peeling garlic and prepping garlic to dehydrate it.
Yeah, we're having it's a good old time. Who doesn't like working through garlic? She thought she was done. Oh, I just threw it in the wrong thing. She thought she was done last fall cleaning garlic, and here we are again. So the goal this year is to make some garlic salts, some powdered garlic, and some minced garlic for sale at market and for sale to our members. So we're working today, we're going to put minced garlic into the dehydrator. And so we're just, most of what we're working through today is garlic that we opted not to sell because it just wasn't very pretty, not in very good shape. And like some of it was cracked or had, one of the bulbs on it, or cloves had a bad mark on it. So we're trying to work through all those. So it's a good way to use up our bad garlic. And we've got 2 trays here, but we have a huge tray downstairs still that needs to be worked through. So that'll be kind of a project when we have extra time over the next couple of weeks. What we're going to do is I'm just taking the ends off, putting them into the thing here, and then we're going to run them through the food processor to get them down to, you know, the size we want them for minced. Then we will put them on parchment paper inside of the dehydrator, thank you. And it will be very low temperature apparently. 105 is all you want to do it at, just to keep it from turning brown. And for 12 hours. So we're going to give it a try. We're debating on whether or not to do it in the house or to take it out to the garage. I'm just worried it's almost too cold in the garage right now to run the dehydrator out there, that it'll affect the final product. So we'll see, because it's dipping down to about 0 in there.
I was gonna say, the question is how long do you want to smell like garlic?
I know, whether or not we want the house smelling like garlic. I don't know how bad it'll be because I've never done it. So I guess we'll find out. But anyway, that's the project for today. We also have a canner behind me full of pinto beans. So we did that first thing this morning. By we, I mean me, because Betsy was not here yet. So sometimes I have to do my own work here at the farm. Sometimes Betsy helps. So, I keep putting that, I shouldn't talk and make video at the same time. I keep throwing my good garlic into my discard garlic. All right, I think that's the project for today. Next week will be a bunch of planting, so we're going to be in the greenhouse a lot, making soil blocks, a lot. All right, thanks for watching. Back to work.
It is the time.
It's that time of year when chick season. And eggs into the incubator. Yeah, it's, I mean, who doesn't love chicks, other than the amount of work they are? But we try to get our first chicks out on pasture around the 1st of May, depending on weather, which means they should have been in the incubator about 5 days ago. So we're a little bit behind, but that's farming. We're always a little bit behind. So each of the trays takes 48 eggs, and we're going to do 3 trays. I may add a few more here in the next few minutes to try to make sure we have about 140 hatch out. I feel like that's the right amount, because this first round that goes into the incubator is for our egg layers in the fall. And we want, I don't know, maybe about 70 new layers. But we also will keep some through the batches through the summer, so there'll be more than enough chickens. And then all of the roosters will go to butcher in this first round. And we don't pull out our meat birds for this first hatching. In the next few hatchings, we will separate out birds that we specifically want to hatch out for meat. Our larger birds with the larger breast meat and the bigger cavities, we'll make sure we do that, because it's so much easier to harvest those bigger birds, and people really want, you know, around a 5-pound bird. And the little lame birds we have, some of them just aren't even big enough to bother with. Okay, so right now we're going to put the water at the top for our humidity. We also have this little humidikit, but I think for the type of humidifier that is, we need to get distilled water for it, because the little sensor on it gets all the minerals from our well. And we'll probably wait to kick this on until first thing in the morning. The reason for that is some of the eggs have been in the basement. They kind of need to warm up to room temperature. So I think maybe I'll go pick out another dozen eggs or so, put another little rack in there.
Yeah, you have enough room now.
Yeah, I think part of the thing I'm worried about is, like, we have enough eggs in here, but some of the eggs have been sitting in here for about 2 weeks, so they may not be viable at this point. Some of them will be, but we often lose quite a bit after a few weeks of sitting. So I know the ones that we just put in will be fine, but I think I might add a few more just to make sure we get to that 140 mark. So, all right, good deal. Woo!
All right, Paquito,
All
you
right,
ready?
goodbye, eggs. See you
You ready?
later.
No?
All right, so in 11 days you'll see us candling them, which is always fun.
Good.
All right, let's go. All right, we'll kick it on tomorrow. I'll make sure I record that or try to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, where are we going now?
Oh, Harris. We're going.
We're going sapping again.
Yeah.
That's exciting. We love sapping. So we're about to head out for
Yeah,
that.
he say
6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and it's 4 now, so we got to get going.
Okay.
Adios.
Only those are the last bucket.
Okay, so we let this incubator, let the eggs inside warm up to about room temperature overnight last night, and we're going to kick it on today. We have close to 200 eggs in there. I'm assuming when we candle them, only about 100 will be viable. We had that problem last year because we let them sit too long, or 150 will be viable, and then we'll lose a couple that won't hatch. So I'm going to kick this on. I don't really remember how to run it, but I should plug it in. Okay, so it's kicked on. It takes it a little while to get warmed up and going. I had a lot of projects this morning I had to get done. We'd canned a bunch yesterday. I got all those jars cleaned, labeled, and put in the basement. And then I also needed to wash eggs for members this morning, which is one of my least favorite jobs on the farm. If we could get rid of eggs, I would, but the members love the eggs, so it's hard to get rid of them. And then, you know, any eggs that are broken or aren't the quality I want to see go out to the members, I cook those for the chickens, so those are in the oven right now. The next project I have to do is we got another set of light banks in for the germination room. And I'm glad they came in because I just saw on the top shelf. Sometimes I put things on the top shelf and forget to pay attention to them. And we had planted some radishes and some turnips that are now extremely leggy because I just happened to look up there last night and I could see them above the top of the tray. So Betsy will be a little mad at me for letting the stuff she planted get too leggy. But I need to get them under lights. So I'm going to put that other bank of lights together. So each kit that we buy has 6 light banks in it, and we put 2 on each shelf. So it'll be 3 more shelves that we're putting light banks on. So I'm going to go into the germination room and I'm going to get that done. So I'm going to put these banks of lights together. We just ordered these Barina grow lights off of Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. I think this bank cost us $85. We buy the 4-foot ones because that's what our shelves are in there. And we put 2 per shelf. The problem is if the shelf is too low, we don't have enough room on some of the shelves for the lights, but nothing really stays in the germination room this time of year for long enough for it to matter. It's only in there for a very short period of time. They're in a little longer right now because we haven't kicked the heat on in the greenhouse yet. So we like these because it comes with like all the additional cords and everything you need. It comes with zip ties if you want to zip tie them up. We don't use them. We use chain. But it's nice that they come with these because it's, in my opinion, so nice to open something up and have everything you need to do something. And then it comes with enough cords to do up to 3 banks of light. So to attach them together. Originally we were doing 3 lights per shelf. Now we're just doing 2. We find that 2 is enough. We've seen some people use just 1. We can't, because we have so many shelves, we can't get the lights high enough to utilize one. There just wouldn't be enough room. It would only, give light to just a few rows of plants. So we saw some critiques online that these lights were difficult to put together. I think these are some of the easiest things to put together. You do have to get the angle correct when you're pushing these little reflectors on. But once you get that right, they slide right in. Of course, this one's going to prove me wrong. Okay, so I didn't need the zip ties to hang the lights necessarily, but what I have been using it for is to string up the electrical cords. And last year I had a huge problem because they were all hanging down together, so trying to turn on a specific shelf, if I didn't have them all full, every time I had to go through and try to find the proper switch. So what I've been doing now is I have them zip tied in order. You can't see up necessarily higher, but there's 6 shelves and the light switches all are in order. So if I want to turn on the top shelf, I know which one is which. So I'm going to zip tie this one down here, and then I've just been attaching the cord from the one above so it hangs nice and even. And then this is the very last one. So I'll zip tie it at the bottom too, just to hold it in place. It helps so I can easily reach it. Now the other thing I did is on these extension cords I used, I put the cords in order. So the bottom one is on the bottom. That way if I need to unplug or plug anything in, I know exactly which ones they are. The longer you do stuff, the more organized and you get to make things faster. And since every day I got to come in here and turn on and off lights, water all these, I like to have it easy to access. Okay, so that's this bottom shelf here. I'm going to move some of the plants that are sprouting from up top. You'll see how tall they are when they get down here, how leggy they got. Oops. Okay, so now the daunting task of getting all of these trays watered, and there are 80 trays in here. Very rarely do I have to do a lot of watering in here. This time of year is probably the worst because we don't want to kick on the greenhouse. So we're utilizing the space in here and the plants get big and the soil dries out. Generally, all we do in here is germinate. So we only let them get to a certain height and then we move them out to the greenhouse. Usually the soil blocks stay wet enough that I don't need to water very much when they're in here. I just have to keep them lightly misted to make sure they don't dry out. Or the other thing is if I'm running the heat in here a lot, which this time of year I don't run very much heat because these starts don't need a lot of heat other than a few herbs we have in here, but they've germinated, so we're just letting them do their thing now. Okay, so it's been a busy day for me. Now I'm out in the greenhouse. It's pretty late, maybe 5 o'clock. Tuesday coming up is one of our biggest soil blocking days of the year. We have to do our onion trays, and this year we do our onions in soil blocks. It's a lot more work up front, a lot less on the back end when we're planting. There's no separating plants, and so because we're busier when we're planting, I like to get the heavier workload done at the beginning. The bad part about that is it does take up a lot of space here in the greenhouse to keep those seedlings going for 6 weeks before we plant them. So today what I'm doing is I'm just trying to make some soil blocks so that we're somewhat ready for Tuesday, because there will be people here helping, and the soil blocking is the slowest part. So if I can get a head start, get ahead of the people putting the seeds in and making up the trays, then I can not have to rush and not have people standing around, which nobody wants to stand around and wait while I make soil blocks. It's very boring. So to fill this wheelbarrow takes about 4 5-gallon buckets, and then about a bucket and a half of water is what I find. We don't have our hoses hooked up yet because it's still way too cold outside for us to turn the water on into here. We could turn it on, but then we'd have to drain it. It's just easier this time of year to carry buckets. Sometimes, and maybe even on Tuesday when we're planting, we'll hook up the hoses in the basement and run the hose across the driveway. But we're pretty good. And then each wheelbarrow does about 8 trays of soil blocks for us. And we are using the Johnny Seeds 12 blocker. Looks like this. We can get 50 blocks in a tray. So I like to add the soil and the water 1 bucket at a time. The reason is it's way easier to mix it and get it to the right consistency if I don't have a full wheelbarrow full when I start adding water. Now, in the summer we change that up when we have the hose, because then we're not hauling buckets. But because I know how many buckets for how many buckets of soil for how many buckets of water, it's just really easy to kind of do it incrementally. Then I'm not having to really dig down to make sure I have the same consistency at the bottom. What I just have to make sure is that it doesn't get too wet down on these sides. And I just pull it up and mix it in. It's kind of like making bread. Alright, so we're about the right consistency, maybe a little drier than I like to be, but the thing is it will be wetter at the bottom. So it might just be the first layer that's a little dry. But it's still in pretty good shape. It stays compacted in my hand when I have it in there. So in my opinion, making the soil is the worst part. It takes the longest. Once I have the soil made, making soil blocks goes pretty quick for me. I don't know how many I can do in an hour. I'm not overly efficient. I will say if somebody hired me and they wanted me to be efficient, that's not my strong suit. I'm more of a do things slowly and correctly. I don't know that that's a good thing. But it works for us. For the size of farm we are, we just don't make enough money to, it would be impossible even if we worked harder and produced more, we probably couldn't make that much more. We just don't have big enough markets here. I have 22 trays done for a start on Monday. Monday we need at least 56, so I got more that need to be done. We plant here on the farm 7 beds of onions. Last year I think we did 5. We're upping it by 2. Onions were one of our biggest money makers last year, and we're hoping for the same thing again this year. We sell them almost all fresh, meaning we sell them as we pull them. And they're just usually so big and nice, we don't have any trouble selling them. So this year we're upping 2 more because we want more for storage for the winter. We're almost out, and we still have 2 months until market. Last year we were still selling onions when it came to market, but last year was a bad storage year. The onions just didn't store very good. We believe they probably were too large and had too much moisture, and they just had a tendency to rot. So we ended up throwing out quite a few. Also, you know, we're still working out which varieties we like to use. We have a few that are standard, and we'll talk about that more when we plant on Tuesday. And then we're switching up a few things to try to figure out more onion varieties to grow. So anyway, this is a good start for Tuesday's planting. And then I got one more project I have to work on in the house, which is we dehydrated a bunch of garlic, and I need to put that in jars. I'm probably not going to show that just because I'm tired and cranky. Anyway, I will see you next week.